All right, what's up, people? So I am in the Carolinas. I got here yesterday. Well, I've been in the Carolinas since day before yesterday. Um, no, I can't remember what time. Anyway, I've been here for about a day, day and a half, whatever. This is going on the second day, and I hadn't driven this area in a very long time, so it took me a little bit. And coming out of Ohio into Kentucky, right where Cincinnati is, they had a huge some accident. So we were sitting on the freeway. The Garmin actually it talks to something. And I had been on U.S. and state highways to get to I-75, 75, yeah, 75. And I'm not a fan of U.S. highways unless they're really well done. It was good right up until I got to Ohio, and then it started getting kind of raggedy. And then it goes to one lane, and I'm just not a U.S. highway fan. Um, I'm an interstate fan. But then we got all the interstates with all the construction, which is a pain in the ass right now. But the Garmin, all of a sudden I'm headed towards I-75. As soon as I hit I-75, she announces I-75 is shut down. Alternative route. Next thing I know, I was on 75 and it told me to get off. It was gonna take me some state highway. I decided to sit in the traffic. So what had happened, there was an accident on 75 and traffic got backed up, which is kind of cool because the Garmin is speaking to something and realized that. The other thing, the difference between the Garmin and my company's Ghetto GPS, Garmin is also registering if there's any kind of change. So, like if there's construction or even if there's a detour. So, my Ghetto GPS was trying to take me down this route to take me to like a 475 or something like that, where it took me around, the 3-digit code. But the Garmin was taking me right to the 75. The reason for it was there's a detour for the direction that Ghetto GPS would have taken me, and it was blocked. You couldn't get on there that way. So you had to go the route that the Garmin told me because it knew where I was at. It was kind of cool. And it auto reroutes, where this thing, you have to keep hitting reroute, which to me, that's like an accident waiting to happen. I shouldn't be touching anything, trying to control stuff while I'm holding the steering wheel. I'm over here, reroute, reroute, reroute. That's just on the ramble. So this morning I got up and watched a video on YouTube. Grind Moj, enjoyed it. But you got me thinking. You know, y'all always get me thinking. I'm very analytical too. I'm sarcastic, but I'm also analytical. Grind Moj talked about the amount of money that he's making, and he said, "Look, I ain't never made this much money, and I spent so much money, y'all. Yada yada yada. Big old cheesy smile. You know, I'm making $1,500 possibly a week. You know, I want to talk to my newbies, my young people, and people even my age who I've had some financial up and down, but because I did do a few things, I ain't gonna say I'm the best with money, but I worked in the industry for a very long time. Because of some of the stuff I did, hold on, y'all, my friend is sending me, she always sends stuff that I don't really care about. Stupid stuff. She thinks it's funny, and we got different sense of humor. Um, anyway, um, Grind Moj, you talked about the money you're making. So we used $1,500 was what you used. And I'm gonna talk to y'all. I'm going from my experience and my also background. So what most of y'all don't know, my corporate career started in high school. And so just to kind of give you a quick background, I didn't grow up in the best home. My mom was very abusive. So I ended up living with my grandfather at age 15. Um, which was, I think it was going into my junior year, my sophomore, my junior year. I ended up living with my grandfather up until I graduated high school. Okay. Um, I'm not really a family person because of a lot of things that happened with me as a kid, and I had some foul stuff happen. And I can get all up in here and tell my life story. I don't do that. But the good stuff that happened to me was I was an okay student. I'm not gonna say I was an A student. classes that my math, it might be the analytical. I'm really decent with math. I'm really pretty good with it. Now, at the time, I went to high school in Tempe, Arizona, and the mayor of our school of Tempe was also a teacher at my school. He was an educator, so was his wife. So Mayor Mitchell, who later became Senator Mitchell of Arizona, Mayor Mitchell, he was a history teacher, but his wife apparently ran a business program at our school. I didn't know this till later. And Marion Mitchell, she was the COE teacher. So what happened? Let me explain, because I didn't even know this existed. It was kind of like a little secret society the way they did it. I'm sitting, so I actually could have graduated in 3 years. I had completed all my high school credits in 3 years. So I could have graduated 1 year early. I stayed the extra year because I was invited to be in this program, and I'll be explaining here in a minute. So the program was called COE, Cooperative Office Education. That was the program I was invited in, and it was kind of a secret society kind of thing, the way they did it. I graduated, so again, I'm almost 50. I'm in my 449. I graduated in 1986. I entered school in 82. And in 82, when I entered school, we did not have the computers and all the technology we have today. The closest thing we had to a computer was called, in high school, was called a word processor. So I took a typing class, I took a word processing class. Those two little were considered business classes. I didn't take them for that reason. I took them just so I could type up my damn papers. So I learned how to type my papers up that I need to turn in instead of handwriting them out, which you need. And plus, they told us for college you would need it. So I learned typing, and I learned word processing, which is just auto-correcting on the typewriter. I'm in my geometry class. I'm very good at math. And someone knocks at the door, gives my instructor, the teacher, a card, and she walks by and sits it on my desk. I open the card, and it says, Shannon, my last name, you are invited to interview for this program, and I would like to give you more details, Marion Mitchell. Hey, so I go meet her at this room in the class, and she had a set time for which I was supposed to be there. Okay, all of this is a setup because you need to be on time to be part of the program to do the interview. So she's trying to see who you are. Basically, it's an interview. Okay, here I go with my little books, my backpack, and I go, hi, Shannon, I'm Marion Mitchell, and you're being invited to something called Cooperative Office Education. What I did is I chose a group of students based on classes you've taken. You took some business classes. I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't know what business class I took. You took word processing and typing. You are correct, I did take those classes. She's giving me an option to, what's the word I'm looking for? In case I didn't go to I didn't finish college, or if I wanted to work during college, or I needed money during college. And so she said, this is a good way. It gives you guys an alternative, in case life happens. She says the only caveat, the only issue is that you have to go ahead and you have to, go through your senior year. I see that you have completed all of your high school credits and that you can graduate 1 year early, which she was right. And I knew that. I was done. My junior year, I had completed everything. I did not need a thing. I could have graduated a year early. But to be part of the program, I had to go to school for my senior year. You had to interview at different companies. I interviewed with like SRP, Salt River Project, which was our electrical company. I interviewed different companies. I had like 3 or 4 interviews. I got on with the City of Tempe Building Safety Department, and my first job I was a clerk typist. Well, that opened the door for me to get all the other Fortune 500 companies, and I didn't realize how much of a blessing it was. Um, that opened that door for me. Um, and I just really made a lot of money. So the reason I'm telling this story is because Grandma J, I made a lot of money in my 20s. I made between 60 and 80,000 a year in my 20s. Okay. Um, I worked for US Sprint. I worked for Chase Bank. I worked for the First Cell Company in Arizona. I made good money. And I spent and wasted a lot of money. Okay, I did put some aside in retirement stuff, which helped me later on, and that really helped me survive. I took a tax hit because I had to use some of that money. I used a lot of that money during the economy crash between 2006 and 2009. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I want to give my young people some wisdom because life will happen eventually to you. Okay? And you need to have a plan. I hate these people. I'm gonna read this to y'all in a minute. Oh boy, I'm gonna read this in a freaking minute. Oh, I hate these freaking people. I hate these freaking they ass to the holes, ass holes. But it's a Walmart load, so I'm gonna take it. But they ass to the holes. Plus, I need to do laundry, so it's all good. It's okay. Woosah. 30 freaking days. 30 freaking days. Assholes. Holy. Whoo. Ass to the hole. Trying to get snarky. Asshole. Whoo. Woo, baby. These assholes. The middle finger. Crazy ass. Go get. Okay. I'm gonna talk about it at the end because I can't talk about it right now because I'm pissed off because they assholes. So let's go back to the money. Assholes. Hold on. All right, let's go back to the money. I'll come back to the assholes in a minute. Assholes. Assholes. Woo! These people. Anyway, so I made a lot of money. I made 68,000 a year, and I wasted a lot of that money. Now, as a young person, y'all want to be cool. I was cool. I was cool. I was cool in a different way. Okay, so I was laid back. I'm cool. Everybody called me. Even now, they like you. Even when I went to churches, people like you are the coolest Negro. Because I'm very laid back. I'm pretty much. I'm. When you meet me, I'm very quiet. I don't talk a lot. One, because I'm analyzing you. Two, I don't trust your ass because I don't know you. Um, and I got to see who you are. That's part of it. Oh. So I made a lot of money. I'm gonna try to give y'all some wisdom from somebody who is now 49 years old, and hindsight is 2020 is an old saying. That means you can look back and you can see your mistakes and you can see your pluses and your failures. Okay. I would have probably been in much better shape had I saved even more money. I saved some, which helped me survive through 2006, 2009 crash. But I did not save at the level I could have saved because when I tell you I have made good money in my 20s because of what I did and because of that door opening in high school, companies paid to educate me. And I don't have a college degree. I have tons of college credits. I was sent to school, executive school for stuff. I was sent to management school for stuff. I went through some major training programs. And I will tell you, I made anywhere from 60 to 80,000 a year in several different positions I held in my 20s. I saved a fraction of that money. The amount of money and where I could be in my life today had I used some of the wisdom I'm going to share with my young people and with my newbies who are definitely under the age of 30. please, if you get anything from me on this channel and in doing this or any other job, listen to me. My background mainly spent most of my career in financial institutions. Chase Bank, Charles Schwab, Wells Fargo, and worked at Bank of America for a minute. Okay. My first job, I was carrying money back and forth from the city of Tempe building safety department to the bank every day. Okay. I've learned a lot in life. Again, at 49 years old, getting ready to be 50. And I'm getting ready to have to reinvent the wheel. My aunt had to do this at a divorce, and she got divorced, and she had to, I could not believe, my aunt is an educator. She's a school teacher. And because of some of the stuff she went through, because she did have retirement savings, she had to borrow against her money in her divorce, which put her in a financial bind. I couldn't believe my aunt telling me she had to sleep on the floor. My aunt, who's done very well as an educator, because she divorced a butthole who was doing some really pervy stuff. We won't even go there. So if she can reinvent herself and bought property and buy herself a house and buy herself a car and travel and enjoy life, and she's now in her 70s. Now she's still working. She went back to work because I think she got bored. My aunt, if she can do that, I can do that. Okay? But because we did save something, we were able to bounce back where a lot of other Americans, some ended up homeless. I talked to a guy when I was working for Wells Fargo, and he actually ended up, because I was in Lubbock at the time, and he was living right up the street from where I had lived in Phoenix. I said, oh, I used to live there. We had a good old conversation on the phone. And this guy was a veteran. He had property up in Scottsdale. Scottsdale's our ritzy area in Arizona. And he had his own, he had like a RV business. And when the economy went south, people weren't doing RVs and stuff. So his business, he said everything went like it was overnight. He ended up homeless, ended up living in a shelter, um, ended up almost committing suicide. And because of his veteran status, he ended up at the VA under suicide watch, got counseling, and they ended up helping him get an apartment. But what was really powerful is what he says, it's funny what you're grateful for. And he said, he put that to me. He said, I ride a bike now, I catch the bus. He said, I speak to people. He said, I look at life through different glasses. And it's funny what you're grateful for. He said, everything went overnight. And he's at an age where getting a job at his age is very hard because he's always been an entrepreneur right out of the military. And he says, what I did in the military changed the course of my life and helped me to survive through this, because he became so depressed because he dropped so low in life. So with that being said, I really want y'all to hear me when I say this to you. And I'm going to use your $1,500 as an example, Grandma Jack. Okay? If you can average, my average out here is between 700 and 12, maybe about 1,000 a week with the company I'm with. I know that when I was in this before, I could average anywhere up to 1,200 or more a week. So you can make a lot of money out here, okay? Do not put your eggs in one basket. First thing, open up, and I'm going to say 4 different institutional accounts. Get a regular bank, Chase, Wells Fargo, whoever, Bank of America, regular bank, all of them are the same. They kind of all suck. Get a regular banking account, okay? I usually, for the bank, they're going to try to talk you into checking and savings. I don't really like banks for that. I'm going to say have just a checking account if you can. They're going to tell you, oh, if you get this checking account, savings account, you can get this discount. You have to pay. If it's no money and whatever they tell you got to do, where you don't have to pay a monthly fee, then do that, okay? So checking and savings, okay? If you have to do that, do that. But I really only do checking at a bank. Get a credit union account. Wherever you can get a credit union account, and you can get a credit union account, get a credit union account, okay? Credit union account, I usually only do savings there, but if you can do checking and savings, do both, okay? Get an account. And I recommend either Charles Schwab or E-Trade. E-Trade is a spinoff of Schwab. The lady who started E-Trade used to be an executive for Schwab. Those are two most moral companies. If you're a military person, a veteran or former military person, USAA. Set up whatever financial accounts you can through there. They actually even have their own banking. Set that up. Okay. You can also through Schwab and I think through E-Trade have a checking savings account off your brokerage account. Ask them about it. Okay. I have to reset that up. I don't have it anymore, but I did have it at one point when I had the right kind of money. Let's see. So, bank, credit union. Yeah. So about 4 accounts. All right, and the reason 3 or 4 accounts. Okay, the reason I tell you 3 is never put all your eggs in one basket. If there something happens hinky with one of those institutions, you always got the other one. IRA or Roth IRA, you make your decision whichever one you want to do. You need to get that set up now. Okay, 18, 19 years to get that set up now. That's your retirement account. Okay, savings accounts, and I'm telling you more than one savings account because you're going to have savings account earmarked for certain things. So, if you do not have a car, one of those savings accounts should be to save for your car. Don't go get a loan. Go ahead and just pay your car cash. My first car was I thought I was cool, but I paid cash for my car, and I'm eccentric, so I like classic old cars, and I had a VW Carmageddon. Y'all can look that up online. It's a little sports car. It's a Volkswagen sports car. Loved old VWs. 1970 VW Carmageddon was my first car. Before I even drove a car, I drove a motorcycle. So I had a motorcycle, I had a Honda motorcycle before I had a car. I got hit on that motorcycle, so I didn't drive a motorcycle after that. Love driving motorcycles, but I would never do it in the city. I have to do it in the country because people don't pay no attention. And I want to try going to 3-wheel ones now. So you want 1 for your IRA, you want 2 for if you have to get a car. If you're not planning on getting a car, but you maybe want to buy a truck, then that's a good place to start putting your money. You want 3 just for regular savings, and that should be money that you could. The only major loan I would ever say is buying property, like a house. Don't rent. Do not rent. If you're single, you don't have kids, you don't have family, you're not caught up in the drama, you living at home or you have somewhere to go, or you don't, but you're single like me, put your stuff in storage and live off this truck, and you can pay for hotels cheaper. Stay at a hotel or stay with family on your home time because you're not home enough in this business to warrant it, okay? You could pay 140, 200 bucks, stay at a decent hotel. You can pay even above that if you want, once a month, and then, or once every couple of months, and then get back out here and do what you do. To me, those are your best moves. Now, I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about. So let me pull up my calculator. All right, so Grandma J, I'm going to use your $1,500. And I wish I could write something, but I don't have that, so y'all have to follow along with me on paper. So $1,500 a week is something you mentioned, okay? So we're going to do times 10%. That gives you $150 a week. That right there is what I would say goes to your IRA. Times that, times 4 weeks, that's $600 a month. Times 12 months, that's $7,200 a year. Now I'm just going to do 10 years. Times 10 years, that's $72,000 that went to your retirement account. Okay? IRAs are great when you retire. One of the things is a tax break. Number 2 thing is going to get interest. So depending on how you set your IRA up to invest, I would do my IRA not through the banks, either through the credit union, if you're military, through USAA. If you're not military, you can also talk to Charles Schwab or E-Trade, and they can set you up. I would tend to want to do it through my credit union. That's where I lean towards. And I won't get into how you invest and all that. I think you should get some books on that. The other thing you can do is what's called drip accounts, which is something I'll be doing. There's dividend reinvestment plans. These are accounts where you can actually buy directly into the stock plans of different companies. So, for example, Walmart, Microsoft, whatever they might, you can do directly. You have to have an account set up with a company to do it, but you can put money in that account and it would gradually buy stocks directly. So you basically create your own type of mutual fund. You can also do mutual funds in which somebody manages it and comes up with a mutual fund in which you invest in. Again, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So, IRA, 10%. Now, how I play the game with myself, this was a way, so 1500. So what you did is I already took 150 for that's IRA, 150. So that reduces my $1,500 a week now down, minus 150 to $1,350. Okay? That's what I have left of my $1,500 a week. So now I need to put some money away for my savings. So this could be a car, this could be the house, anything like that. Okay, this is like something major that I want to buy. So I'm going to do 10% of that. That's $135 out of there. Okay, times 4. That's $540 a month times 12. $6,480. Average car note can be anywhere from 3 to 5 years. I'm going to go ahead and do the maximum 5 years because that would be your lower payments, right? Times 5 years, $32,400. Okay. Now, to me, to buy a $32,000 vehicle is crazy as hell unless it's a truck. And I want a truck, so my truck might cost this or more. But I could also get a used truck, which is probably what I'm going to do because I don't pay cash. But for $32,400, you can take half of that and go buy yourself a nice used car, okay? With not a lot of miles on it because you're not really home driving it. Doesn't make any sense. I watched a video, an interview by one guy, and he told me he sold his car when he first got into trucking because it was sitting there, he's paying insurance, and he wasn't driving it. For the most part, he'd come in, Uber or rent a car, and go do what he had to do, and then be back on the truck. Smartest move, okay? And save the money and then pay cash for a car, and then you're not paying a car note. I sold my car had the same kind of issue. So $32,400. This is 5 years put away in your regular savings account, okay? Now, we're going to go back because we were down, let's see here. So we were at 1,500. We minused off 150 at 1,350. So we minused off $135. So we're now down to $1,215. Second savings account, okay? And that one, I would do 5%, okay? That's $60.75 a week. 4 weeks, $243, $2,916. That would be my just in case something happens. Money. Whatever, madness happens, okay? That's 1 year, $2,916. That's not a lot of money, but it's something. It's a bounce. It's something that sustains you, okay? Now, out here over the road, you're going to need things. You're going to need CB radio, you're going to need work boots, gloves, there's going to be food on the truck. Don't do that per diem mess. We're going to get to that in a minute. There's different things. Your bedding, jackets, stuff you're going to need. What I would do initially is I would take $750. I'd take half of that $1,500 and I would start getting my stuff every week. I would start working towards getting my stuff. And I'm not telling you to take the whole $750, but maybe take $200, $300 of that and start getting your CB radio. If you don't have your wireless headset, I got two because I kept the broken one, and y'all see I did ghetto repair to it. So this is the broken one. Remember that piece came off, and y'all see my tape. I did some Gorilla tape, and I got some Gorilla glue to glue this back in. Okay. And then that's still, you can't really do anything about that. That's just going to be what it is. Because see, it's a piece, but you can see it's kind of warped. Y'all see kind of warped. Because it should be like this one. See, I don't know if I'm putting them side by side. So if you can see side by side, it's kind of warped out. It's warped. But you can see it. It's kind of odd. Whereas, see that one straight and that's kind of bent. So it should be like this one. This is the new one, the replacement. But these are like 150, and I want to get the one with the 2 here because the exterior, the sound in this is phenomenal. So I want to get the stereo ones. That's just something I want, but I haven't done that yet because I really haven't had a need to pay $179 for the new ones with the 2 ears. But I'm gonna do that, guys. Start saving your money. Young people, save. If you have a chance, watch John and Jade. They were working, I think, for U.S. Express. They didn't really announce who they worked for until they left. They used trucking to do for them what they needed it to do. And they position themselves, I think they're doing Airbnbs, either doing Airbnbs or they're flipping condos. I can't remember which one. That couple probably was averaging about 100,000 or more a year. Okay, they're going into the same household as a team. Okay, that $100,000 a year, they have now taken whatever they've saved. They're buying properties and they redo them, and I think they're Airbnbing them or either they're flipping them. So they're making quite a bit more money. They've taken that money and invested it. Have a plan to while you're out here. I fractured my ankle, but a fall off this truck can leave you handicapped and not being able to do this job. An accident in this truck can leave you. When my father came down with prostate cancer, he almost got evicted from his home, his apartment. That's another reason why I don't want to rent. I want to own. Because if something happens and you own your shit, it's yours. Only way they can get you out of it if you don't pay the taxes. And the reason I'm choosing a cheaper place to live, like going to Texas, is because property's cheap. I'm at an age now where I'm not worried about. I mean, I go out, but it's not like I hang out with my boy Joe. Joe's in his 60s. I'm getting ready to be in my 50s. So, what's important to me? I'm not partying. I'm not doing no. Me, I'm mellow. The wine bar is about the most of it. A burger, some sushi, a movie. That's the extent of my life. It's not all caught up in a lot of stuff. The party days was in my 20s, and even then, I hated clubs, or you call them the bars back then, and the gay bars. So I hated that stuff. I really, actually, strangely enough, I did. Um, it's probably why I'm not bothered now, because it's just not a part of who I am. And I didn't like it back then. I'm not going to like it now. Save your money, young people. Don't go out here and waste it. Jay, Geronimo J, I do think you did a good job. You need a laptop out here. Um, the camera, I need to get a better camera as well. I like the wisdom you were talking about. You didn't want to get it broken. So when you get out here, you got to get a good bag. My suggestion for bags for you would be either the Swiss bags, Army bags, or the Swift knife or whatever. Swift has a good backpack. You should be able to get them at Costco if you have a Costco membership, but if not, you can order it on Amazon. The other bag that's really good is I love the Oakley. The Oakley, I think it's everything but the kitchen sink. Check those out. Those are nice. I want to get an 18-inch laptop, and I'm going to get a gamer laptop. Not because I'm a major gamer. I do, like, my thing is StarCraft, but I'm not a major gamer. But I like it because of the power of the gaming power and the graphics that you get to work with. And then I also, because I do this vlogging, I want to, step my vlogging up. And it's not to have 5,000 subscribers. I mean, if that happens, it happens. My thing is, it's something I enjoy doing. And again, it keeps your mind active. I don't want this video to be too long. I may have to cut it up some. But save your money, what you do. And one day I'll see if I can do somewhere I write out, because this is kind of the plan of action. I'm doing some cleanup now. I would have been much further along had I saved a lot more and taken this advice in my 20s, but I was trying to be cool and have all this stuff. Don't be going out trying to buy Nike shirts and being the cutest programs on the planet. You can do that over time. Position yourself. And as African Americans, I'm going to talk to my black people, a lot of times we like to be showy. See, that's my father's problem. He want to have rings and look all what he called pretty, and so he could lay on some woman to tell me he look sexy or whatever. It's crazy as hell. And at the end of the day, you almost got evicted because you didn't have no money when he got sick, because transportation doesn't, even in railroad, they don't really have a really good sick time policy where they have sick time. No, you got to have your money saved up to handle your stuff. And between the railroaders collecting money, my uncle who's a pastor sent him some money. One of the women he was screwing who gave him some money to help him out. That's how he survived. That's how he survived during his prostate cancer. So life will happen. I got sick at age 29, ended up in the hospital off and on for 3 months. Had to have a major surgery, which is why I say I'm fixed. It's because it had to do with some female stuff. And almost checked out. Okay, at 29, life will happen. And you want to talk about when it happens, it hits. My phone got cut off. I mean, I'm just telling you, life freaking happened. I was barely able just to make my rent. And I wasn't working in this industry. I was working in the corporate industry making good money. I depleted my savings like that. Save your money because life will happen and something will happen. Right now, I would say 750, but when you get done, you want to get down to under $400 a week. I would say between $300 and $400 a week, probably about $400 a week average to keep on you out here on the road. And if you don't spend that $400 in a week, then put that money in savings or a bank. Okay, trust me on this, young people. But be blessed, and I'm gonna do a different video on this crazy ass email here. I don't want to put it in here because I'll do that here in a minute. On why do you think these people crazy as hell? I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Oh, anyway, peace, y'all.